Hello all heroes, and welcome back to Invincible guarding the globe, and today we're gonna do a brief overview on gems. How to get gems, what's the best way, most efficient way to get gems, and how you should be using them. Gems, for those of you who are newer to the game, is the main source of currency in Invincible guarding the globe. It's these pink little diamond-shaped currency icons. If you've played a mobile game, there's always some form of either gem or orb or diamond or something like that. It is that. Very standard practice for mobile games. And you can use gems for quite a lot. You can use them for refreshes, you can use them for summoning, and you can use them for buying event packages. That way you can basically use gems instead of having to spend money, which is why 90% of the player base actually does save up gems, is to actually use them in these sorts of events. Now, what should you be using your gems on? 90% of the time, you should be using your gems on new character events. We just recently had the Conquest event, and while it did take a metric ton of gems, took me about 50,000, we'll say. I think it might have been like a little less than that, but just rounding up, we'll say 50,000. But with that, I did get Conquest up to Omnipotent Plus. I'm not going to call that free-to-play friendly, but I'm going to call that free-to-play possible, which is a noteworthy little designation to say, where it's like, okay, it's possible, sure, but good freaking luck. But all that to say is that you can do a lot with gems, especially nowadays for these events. They tend to have more gem bundles, which is good for people who have saved. Usually the best thing to do is to just save gems for whatever character that comes around that you really want. But how do you get gems? Well, I'm going to go ahead and rip the band-aid off here and say that if you're a low spender, there are two deals that do actually give you a noteworthy number of gems. And no, it's not the GTA pass. For the cost, the raw gems you get from this bad boy are actually pretty low. You're into this more for the dossiers and the characters, let's be honest here. So the gems from the hero pass, not worth it. The two sources that give the best gems are, first of all, the boosters. If you've played Genshin, you would consider this like a welcome pass. Very old hat, very standard practice. We all know how this works if you're experienced with mobile games. If you're not experienced with mobile games, what this basically does, when you make the purchase, you will get the 500 gems and the 3 dossiers here, and then every day for the next 15 days in this case, you get 350 gems. My math, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a big if here, clocks in at about 4,750 plus 500, I think. I think that's right. Now I've got to pull up a calculator and find out, because I'm immediately questioning my mental math here. So basically you get 350 for 15 days, and then factoring in that 500, you get, okay, so 5,750 gems total over the course of 15 days. The caveat with that, of course, being that you have to wait. It's a longer term thing. It's not like you can see the new character event and then just get this and immediately get 5,000 gems for only $10. That's the kicker, is you gotta log in every day to actually get the rewards. That's what these things are made for. They're trying to incentivize you to log into their game regularly. That's the game. However, if we discount that time factor, that clocks in at about 575 gems a dollar. That's actually pretty decent if we're talking about this game's assigned value to currency, I'll call. We'll refer to it as assigned value. That's actually pretty okay if you're a low spender and you want a nice source of gems for an efficient price. Additionally, the only other one that I would recommend is on the rarest of occasion. And I do emphasize rare because I've only seen it twice. In the special deals section here, sometimes there is a deal for 20,000 gems for $30. And that comes in at about 666 gems, 0.666 repeating per dollar. The devil's number. Well, truly the best deal in the game is of the devil, I guess. Damien Darkblood approved his message. But basically, again, if you're a low spender, that's the best deal, the 20,000 gems for the $30, because not only is that just a metric crap ton of gems, but it can take you really freaking far in these events, because, I mean, these prices are identical for new character events. 20,000 gems can take you really freaking far, because this right here is 8,000 gems, the top one, then 4,000 gems, another 4,000 for the card, that's that right there. Basically, you can almost clean out this entire shop just for that. Meanwhile, $30 if you actually get one of the packages here, like this one, not even close. The value, not even close. Pitiful in comparison. Frankly, like I said, if you're any kind of a spender, if you're a dolphin, low spender, whatever, ignore this crap and just be on the lookout for that $20,000 gem deal. Or $20,000, wow. 20,000 gem deal for $30. However, that's assuming that you're a spender, and also it is worth mentioning that that deal is rare. They know that's a good one. I mean, it's referred to as a happy hour deal. I don't know what their happy hour is. I don't know. But, yeah. That's if you're spending. That's the easy way, and that served me very well with Conquest. But let's talk free-to-play, because that's what we all really care about. We want to know how many gems you can get free-to-play, and the best ways to do it. So, there's a few resources that are kind of like a one-shot wonder. The campaign actually gives a noteworthy number of gems. The cost of that, of course, being that you have to make sure your 5 characters are constantly getting stronger so that you can actually participate in the campaign. But every 5 or 10 or so, the stages do give gems. That adds up in a hurry. It's actually pretty nice, especially because... Whoopsies, that's not the button I meant to hit. Especially because we do actually have quite a few chapters now. We're up to 36 chapters. We're almost done with Season 2 of the game here. So, that adds up in a hurry. Additionally, you do get XP and dossiers and all that jazz. So that's nice. Missions. Don't sleep on the achievements. These can give quite a nice pile of gems here. Mostly in the progression page here, because hitting certain waves in the GDA ops will actually reward you with gems. There's some waves that I haven't even hit, so I still have some gems hanging around here that I could get. You can even see if you really excel, like this one right here for the well done GDA op. If I could have reached 1,000, which I probably will push for eventually, I could get 500 gems. That's not bad. Some of these give 100 or 50, depending on the difficulty. Not bad at all. Definitely something you want to keep in mind on. Sometimes just completing the events a certain number of times. Completing campaign missions. That can just do a lot for you, honestly. And this, especially in the early game, is going to be your best source of quick gems. Do not sleep on the achievements. There is, of course, also random other little achievements like ranking up stuff, obtaining gear, things like that. These are kind of a little more long-term, some bonus rewards that'll occasionally jump scare you. Not a whole lot, but certainly better than nothing. Of course, your dailies. You're going to want to do your dailies. Your dailies will give you 100 gems a pop, as well as some dossiers and other little rewards. The weeklies. The 4th reward here will give you 400 gems. That one's actually pretty dang good. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. So that's more of your... The achievements are a one-shot wonder, but as you can see, even I don't have all my achievements done, so that's always a little something you can shoot for if you're feeling ambitious, to try and give you a quick little shot in the arm of some gems. More reliable sources are those daily and weekly events. Now, let's say you've done your dailies and weeklies, what else do you got? Well, on this page here, you've got 2 main sources, the Arena and Cecil's Nightmares. The arena is very straightforward. It's got a leaderboard, and at the end of each season, based on where you stand on the leaderboard, you will get gems. The nice thing is, no matter what, even like you'll even see here, I'm over here sitting in the bottom of the barrel, I'll still get gems. It's a nice pile of gems because this is the Invincible League, but even in the lower leagues, you still get gems even if you don't participate, which is kind of cool. Now, you will get demoted to lower levels if you don't participate, and it is certainly helpful to try and rank up at least a little bit to get some bonus rewards, but the arena is going to be one of your most reliable sources of gems. Bonus points for the fact that we now have 2 arenas, which means that you have 2 different leagues that you can be getting gems from. Pretty nice, and it does reward you for excelling. If you can rank up in your leagues, and every single week, basically, you have the opportunity to get more and more gems. Of course, problem with that being a PvP mode, sometimes that can be subject to your account level, and if you can keep up with them. Nice thing is that once you hit certain thresholds, like Elite League 3, which is the one before Invincible League, that one is really hard to drop out of, honestly. Like, you'd really have to just not participate to drop out of that, whereas Invincible League, I'm getting stomped, but that just is what it is. But good stuff. Every week, you get a nice pile of gems, and you could even get 1,000 gems a week once you get a high enough league in both of them. You're looking, if you do halfway decent, you don't even have to be amazing, but if you do halfway decent, you could get close to, maybe not necessarily hitting 1,000 gems, but close to 1,000 gems each week due to the 2 arena leagues, which is kind of nice. And finally, Cecil's Nightmares. Always at least try to do your Cecil's Nightmares. Almost all of the leaderboards, if not the leaderboards, do give at least a modest pile of gems. This is the weekly one. This always has gems, even if you're the lowest of the low. And you'd really have to just not participate to be the below 50% rank. Even that's 50 gems. 50 gems may not be a lot, but it adds up in a hurry. The weekend event, again, always gives gems. Even if you're in the bottom of the barrel, you'll get a small pile of gems. The other events, the special nightmare events, all give gems. You see where I'm going with this? Even if you're not going to care about Cecil's Nightmares, just do one stage. The one stage is always like baby mode. I mean, look at this. One rare red rush. I mean, red rush doesn't even come in rare, and yet there he is, just begging to be punched. Just even if you only have the time to do one stage, at least that's still 50 gems you would have gotten. And then especially this weekend event actually does tend to give gems every 5 or so, which adds up in a hurry. The weekly ones don't actually give gems anymore in the main rewards, which is a little bit of a blot on the record. I'm not gonna lie, that does kind of suck. They replaced it with things like molecular enhancements, which is also helpful. I won't deny that. But the point is, you get gems from the leaderboard. Don't go crazy for the leaderboard. Treat it as an extra thing. But hey, gems are gems. Now, that's like all of the main stuff. Let me just collect my schools out here. There are also other little random things you can do. Redeem codes. Be on the lookout for redeem codes. Go to the Discord servers, because a lot of Discord servers, there's one in particular that's a fan-made Discord. If you ask about it in the official Discord, they can point you in the right direction. They're also very good for infographics. They actually do have a whole channel dedicated to just tracking redeem codes, and a good number of those redeem codes will give gems. Not a huge number, usually like 200 around that range, but again, every little bit counts. Sometimes events. Every now and then there's an equipment or a lab themed event that does actually give gems a little bit. They're a little more rare, a little more few and far between, but sometimes an event with gem missions will appear. And those are nice. And quite frankly, the single best advice I can give you to save gems is don't spend gems. And I know that you hear that advice and you're like, oh, well, that should be obvious. But there's a lot of things where it's like, oh, well, I could just refresh here for 20 gems. That's no big deal. That adds up in a hurry. That adds up in a big hurry. Don't spend gems if you don't absolutely positively have to. And 90% of the time, you don't absolutely positively have to. Just save it for the new character events or for an event that you're really passionate about. Like, let's say this event, let's say you were really passionate to build up a Cecil. Then sure, go for it. At the end of the day, it's a game. And we're just here to have fun. And we're not here for things to be difficult and stressful and all that jazz. If you do want to spend money, go for it. Spend responsibly, spend within your means, but have fun. And if you don't want to spend money, honestly, you're probably the wiser person, because you really don't need to spend money in this game. It can speed you up, it can help you along quite nicely, and can even, if luck is on your side, can even get you some good stuff, but you don't have to spend money in this game. That is one thing I do like about this game, is you don't have to. But if you do want to spend money, like I said in the beginning of the video, there's some smart ways you can do it if you really want to be a dolphin in the game. And hey, you know what? If you're worried about supporting the game, just go to the Hall of Fame and look at some of the highest level characters. I think they're getting plenty of support. I think there are a few Krakens who are keeping the lights on just fine. But yeah, so that is all we have for today. That's kind of what we have for our gem guide. If you do have any more thoughts or questions in the you can let me know in the comments. If you did like the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.